This is the right side of campus, and today we'll be discussing the death of Otto Warmbier and its potential consequences on U.S.-North Korea relations. And he found an agency that offers trips to North Korea for foreigners. So he took him up on the offer and went on a trip with, I believe, 10 other Americans. So yeah, he thought it was fine and whatnot. And by the end of the trip, he went to the airport, and the other Americans were able to fly back without any problems. But he, of course, was detained under the excuse that he stole a propaganda poster from the hotel. Obvious that he was forced into a false confession. Just a confession, like he admitted that the U.S. government pretty much told him to steal the poster and whatnot. And his excuse for stealing the poster was that there was he said that there was someone in Wyoming, that a family friend, that would give him a $10,000 used car if he gave her the poster as a souvenir.
I never should have allowed myself to be allured by the United States administration to commit a crime in this country.
So North Korea sentenced him to 15 years of hard labor as a result. And yeah, basically, it was obvious that they tortured him. His brain was lacking tissue, the proper amount of tissue and whatnot. And of course, when he came to America in a coma, he died soon thereafter.
And wasn't he only there for, wasn't it a month? And he went into the coma? So it wasn't like he was there for a while and then he slipped into the coma. It was only a month into his sentence, right?
I believe so. And he's been in a coma, I think, since like April of last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it had been a really long time since he had been in a coma.
Yeah, which that implies that, he's been gone for a while and Korea just wanted to keep him alive and, send him back in a coma as a message.
Yeah, and well, a lot of it, the politics of sending him back was to keep him from dying on North Korean soil. What was it they claimed that he was put into a coma from?
Botulism, which comes from a toxin made from
right?
It's a toxin made from a rare bacteria that comes from like uncooked meats and raw honey. It's very rare, and it only comes from the only cases that it really happens in, is from it's from just very non-industrialized countries and places without regulatory standards on food sanitation. Well, yeah, foreign policy wise, I mean, Obama chose a lot of times to just allow these things to happen, basically bend over to the will to any other country that was willing to give their will. But with Trump, it's going to be a little different. However, Trump's going to need to respond to this in some fashion. I'm just not sure how.
They were both liberals and conservatives alike, saying we need to come together and agree that we need to take care of North Korea somehow. We need to take some action. And it seems like both sides are actually in accordance. But could there be an assassination attempt on Kim Jong-un?
We've been talking about that for years.
Military action. Because, what we did with Osama bin Laden, we succeeded in that mission, but that's completely different. I mean, it was in the middle of nowhere in Afghanistan. We'd have to go to the middle of a Pyongyang, which has a population of millions of people, which is a completely different ballgame.
And we'd have to take a step up if we were to do that. And it seems like when the U.S. gets involved with other governments and reinstates our own head of government, it doesn't always work out for us in the end. And
yeah,
what do you think the U.S. we'd be willing to go through the trouble of taking out a dictator of that country, in which technically a war is still in all, I guess, literal sense, or in all paperwork, I guess it's the war is still going on there. They're just kind of at they're at an arms deal. Neither one invade the other. Well, taking out this dictator have repercussions of that war continuing. Are we willing to step up and take care of that, of what's going to happen?
Well, the problem is the U.S. can, if you look at the past in history with the Dominican Republic and the other South American countries, Nicaragua, Guatemala, whatnot. The problem is not taking out the dictator himself. It's what happens afterwards when it creates a power vacuum. Because you're going to have the U.S. and South Korea vying to establish more of a capitalist leader, democratically elected, and then you're going to have China maybe wanting to establish another communist leader, but with their version of communism. So the problem is always in the power vacuum. It's what happens after we remove the leader.
The Chinese-North Korean kind of relations have been weakening completely. And I feel like China, they want no part in protecting North Korea for any longer. Their relations have gone down immensely over the last few years.
Yeah, they're a
and
liability.
I feel like they'll definitely not protect North Korea in any way, but definitely they will want a say in North Korea after the fact if the U.S. Has action involving North Korea.
My gut tells me that China is going to, of course, try to influence
Involved.
having a say in the succeeding in the succeeding North Korean government after a war in which the coalition is victorious.
Roughly. And most of them, they don't really want North Koreans there. One, because there's a bit of like a language difference. It's like the languages of North Korea and South Korea are slowly diverging in some ways, because certain words like ice cream in South Korea is ice cream, but then in North Korea it's a different word.
Yeah, because they become more westernized, definitely.
Well,
they've added
where they adopt
added
words.
more
Yeah.
Yeah, North Korea would be a gigantic economic burden on South Korea if they were to remerge.
Definitely.
Yeah, it would take
South
trillions
Korea's
of dollars to integrate.
Mm-hmm.
South Korea, I believe they're in the top 5 of HDI, with North Korea is not, not even on ranked pretty much.
Yeah, I would.
So you can't get data.
Yeah, I believe that at first it would be a burden and it would take a toll on South Korea's economy. But I think looking at it long term, it would end up benefiting them. I mean, they're getting this huge amount of land. They're getting a huge population added to the workforce. Assuming that these people will join the workforce. I feel in the long run, it'll end up helping them out economically.